Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all already know who this is. This is Ron the freaking Don. Today, I wanted to talk about the so-called controversial Court of Appeals ruling in favor of Trump deploying the National Guards to resolve the peaceful protests out in LA. Now, Gavin Newsom, the governor of Los Angeles, has filed an injunction or challenged the Trump administration in court for his utilization of deploying the national troops, the National Guard, to Los Angeles, along with 500 to 700 Marines. And all I gotta say is it's politics all over. This is all politics to it, because Gavin Newsom didn't have a thing to say about the peaceful protests, which ended up turning into a riot out in Los Angeles. Gavin Newsom didn't have a word to say until Trump decided to send the National Guard. So there's politics written all over it, because he has aspirations of running for president in 2028. Well, if he would have done his job to begin with, him along with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, then Trump would not have to send the National Guards. Now, sanctuary city laws prohibits the LAPD from acquiring illegal migrants about their legal status. And on top of that, Karen Bass told the LAPD to stand by. So we could argue that Karen Bass is the one that let the protests get out of hand, just because she told the LAPD to stand by. It's real simple, guys. It's real simple. If she would never have done that, told them to stand by, then the situation would have been resolved and Trump would not have sent the National Guard. But on top of that, how the mainstream media was calling this a peaceful protest when you clearly, on the footage, when you clearly saw footage of arson, fire fuming out of garbage cans, out of police cars, vehicles, violence, theft, assault, chaos, turmoil, the whole nine. We clearly saw footage of all those elements of criminal activity, and they have the nerve to say it was a peaceful protest. And mainstream media has done that back in 2020 during the George Floyd riots in Minnesota. They say it was a peaceful protest, but yet you see flames fuming out the buildings, though. And I'm like, yo, how was that peaceful protest? I guess this new, in 2025, this whole woke ideology changes the definition of danger and protests and violence. Guess these woke ideologies like to change the definition to various terms. So I guess that's the case, right? That's they changed definition of everything. But last time I checked, I thought fire was danger. I thought fire, when you see fire, to run, to get up out of there, to leave the premises. That's why I thought, and wait for the firefighters to come put out the fire. That's why I thought my whole life that fire was danger. I never knew that fire was peaceful. Like I said, this woke ideology changes the definition to different things, to various terms in today's society, which is why nothing makes sense nowadays, right? But yeah, everybody makes it seem like Trump sending the National Guard was controversial when if he didn't deploy the National Guard, how would the protests have been resolved? How would not protest, I mean, how would the peaceful protests that turned violent have been resolved? Similar thing happened back in 1992 during the Rodney King riots. The LAPD stand down, let things get out of hand. And look what happened with a lot of chaos and turmoil, which we can say that was worse than than this current anti-ICE riot. You could say it was worse because, everybody could say it was worse. And it seemed like it was so far, but as I said, let's wait till this riot subsides and we can see which one is worse. But I guess as of now, 1992 Rodney King riots are considered worse. Why? Because because LAPD stand down the same way the LAPD stand down in this case, and when LAPD finally did their jobs, it resulted in 500 arrests. That is attributed to the violence and the so-called peaceful protests. So I don't look at Trump sending the National Guard as controversial, because, like I said, the court circuit appeals ruled in favor of Trump. So it goes to show you that I am correct, and it's not controversial about that, even though the mainstream media view it as controversial. But yet he would not have had to deploy the National Guard if Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom would have resolved the issue first. But they didn't. So Trump had to resolve the issue for them. Trump had to do their dirty work. Trump had to do their job because they didn't want to do theirs. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on the issue. And I'm happy to see that black people have stood away from this issue, because they knew that this is not our fight. The Rodney King riots back in 1992, that was our fight. This anti-ICE riots, that's not our fight, because this is not our fight. Because if Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats didn't let 10 to 20 million illegal immigrants to the country, then there would be no need for ICE to raid these cities and communities. And if these sanctuary cities will have cooperated with federal law, then these protests, none of this would have been necessary if they would have cooperated with federal law. Just like they did with Obama. They cooperated with federal law. Now, if they would have done the same thing that they did with Obama, cooperated with federal law, they wouldn't need to ICE wouldn't have need to raid these communities and deport and cap and arrest so-called citizens, so-called legalized. I'm not even sure if they're legal, but when you come to this country illegally, it's a crime. So the way ICE would not have had to have detained so-called innocent civilians, that's migrants, if they would have cooperated with federal law, if these sanctuary cities would have cooperated with federal law. But anyway, that's my 2 cents, and that'll be it. I will catch you on my next video. You like this video? Hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will catch you on my next video. Peace.